Good day, everyone. I am John Miguel T. Esquivel, and today I will be discuss the North and South America physical and cultural perspective in terms of resources, political geography, and cultural life. So before I start, let me read to you first my objectives. Identify the natural resources and trade industries of North and South America. Explain the political geography and historical influences of North and South America. So, first we will discuss the resources in North America. So, forestry is a major economic activity for much of North America. In the United States, the timber industry is strong in the Pacific Northwest, the Gulf states, and South Atlantic coastal plains. Forestry is the management, cultivation, and harvesting of trees and other vegetation in forests. In Pacific Northwest, for instance, the logging company harvests cedar, fir, and spruce trees. Lumber from these trees is exported around the world for construction. Some of the continent's largest paper mills are found in these temperate rainforests. In addition to paper mills produce cardboard and fiberboard. So next resources is oil. Large natural gas and oil reserves are found in North America, where they are mined for fuel and energy. The economy of North America is heavily reliant on the exploitation of oil and gas. The top three producers of oil worldwide are the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The greatest source of crude oil in the world is found in the Canadian province of Alberta's Athabasca sands. The Athabasca sands are the site of more than 20 domestic and foreign extraction projects. Yet, the mining and processing of crude oil results in the destruction of the neighboring boreal forest and the diversion of the staggering amount of the water from nearby rivers. Moreover, carbon dioxide emission from heavy crude oil from tar sands are 20% higher than emission from the light crude oil. So next, we discuss the political geography of North America. North America's political geography, the third largest continent, extends from the tiny Aleutian Island in the northwest to the Isthmus of Panama in the south. North America is home to the citizens of Canada, the United States, Greenland, Mexico, Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, and the island countries and the territories of the Caribbean Sea and Western North Atlantic. So the continent includes the enormous island of Greenland in the northwest and the small island countries and the territories that Caribbean Sea and Western North Atlantic Ocean. In the far north, the continent stretches halfway around the world from Greenland to the Aleutians. The northern half of North America is covered mostly by Canada, except for the northeastern part, which is the Greenland part of Denmark, and the northeastern part, which is Alaska, part of United States. So now we will discuss some issues in political geography of North America. So first, historic issue. Widespread contact between the indigenous people of North America and European explorers was the defining moment for the continent's political geography. Italian explorer Christopher Columbus first landing in the Caribbean soil in 1492 set in the motion the voyage of the Europeans. Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto and Ponce de Leon, French explorer Jacques Cartier, and British explorer Sebastian Cabot and Henry Hudson. So next, temporary issues. Today, North America's political geography is deeply influenced by economic and demographic trends. Two important policy, the North American Free Trade Agreement or the NAFTA, signed in 1994 and ended in 2020, and the Dominican Republic Central American Free Trade Agreement or the CAFTA, DR signed in 2004, have affected trade between countries on the continent. Most significantly, the agreements have reduced or eliminated duties and tariffs. A duty is a kind of tax charged for items purchased outside the country. A tariff is another kind of tax charged on imports and exports. So, both policies have eliminated duties on U.S. and Canadian agricultural exports, such as corn, wheat, and soybeans. The agreements have also reduced tariffs on goods like coffee, sugars, fruit, and vegetables. So these are important export for the rest of the continent. So next is future issues. After the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, the United States and all North America became more concerned with safety. National security at the international, regional, and domestic level will continue to be an important issue. Internationally, the HICs of North America, especially the United States, continue to negotiate their diplomatic presence in the worldwide while claiming to protect themselves from terrorist attack at home. The United States under the Constitution is federal representative democratic republic and indivisible union of 50 sovereign states. In most elections, the winner is determined by the popular vote. The popular vote is the sum of all ballots cast by voters in elections. The word popular, in the sense, refers to the population. So the popular vote is the people votes. Senator, congressional representatives, and governors are nearly every other elected official in the United States is elected by popular vote. There is one major exception. Americans elect a president every 4 years, and it is possible for candidate to win the popular vote but lose the election. The Electoral College is a group of people chosen by voters to elect the president. A swing state is a state where presidential elections tend to be relatively close. Because of that, these states have a tendency to swing from one party to the next over the course of a few elections. So presidential candidates tend to pour most of their time and money into swing states since they are key in determining the outcome of the election. So next we are going on the cultural life. The cultural life of North America refers to the arts and other manifestation of human activities and achievements from continent of the North America. Culture of North America reflect not only that of the continent's indigenous people, but those culture that follow European colonization as well. Religion Christianity is defined as the religion in which people adhere the teaching of Jesus Christ and follow the rules of the Holy Book. Example, Bible. So Christianity is the most popular religion in North America. It accounts more for approximately 75% of the total population of North America. So their cuisine of North America food consists of ingredients coming from the four areas: Canada, the United States, Mexico, and Central America. The food in the North America began with the Native Americans. The three main crops, also called the Three Sisters, were beans, squash, and maize. The Native Americans also salmons, berries, deer, rabbit, and mushroom in their dishes. Most popular dishes are biscuits and gravy, tacos, tortilla, buffalo chicken wings, nachos, and many more. So fashion in the United States is the leading country in the fashion design industry, followed by the France, Italy, the United Kingdom, Germany, and the Japan. Apart from professional business attire, Americans' fashion is eclectic and predominantly informal, while Americans' diverse cultural roots are, are reflected in their clothing, particularly those of recent immigrants. Cowboy hats, boots, jeans, and leather motorcycle jackets are emblematic of specifically American styles. So next we're going on the resources in South America. Woods and seafoods. The, the South America build industry lower grade timber eucalyptus is the most well known of these less prized timbers. While eucalyptus is not indigenous to South America, so it spreads there quite quickly in low-income areas all across South America to the coast. The Chile-Peru current has created a fishery that includes everything from whales to prawns. The plentiful anchovy harvests in Chile and Peru are processed into fish meal, which is used in the fertilizer and animal feed. While Ecuador is a significantly shrimp producer, Chile is a world leader in farm-raised salmon and trout. So next resources in South America is mining. One of the South America's most significant economic engines in the mining sector. All around the world, building and machinery required iron and steel. The majority of known copper deposits in the world were in South America, specifically in Peru and Chile. Copper, the world's top copper exporter, makes up about one-third of Chile's exports, value of $26.9 billion in 2009. As the copper conducts heat with resist pollution, it is utilized in electrical wiring and equipment. So now we are going on the political geography of South America. The fourth largest continent on Earth is home to 12 sovereign states: Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, Uruguay, and Venezuela. The continent is located almost entirely in the South Hemisphere, bordered in the west by the Humboldt-Peru Current of the Pacific Ocean, in the east by Brazil Current of the Atlantic Ocean, and the north by the Caribbean Sea. South America is called Latin American because it's generally understood to consist of the entire continent. South America, in addition to Mexico, Central America, and the island of the Caribbean, whose inhabitants speak Roman language. So now we are going on the issue of political geography in South America. So historic issue, the European colonization of South America defined the continent's early political geography. The Treaty of Tordesillas of 1494 granted Spain and Portugal an exclusive right to colonize all lands outside to Europe. The treaty also established the line of demarcation, which gave all land west of the line to Spain and all east of the line to Portugal. Spain colonized the majority of South America and Portugal colonized present day in Brazil. So the contemporary issue, today South America's political geography can be defined by a desire to reduce foreign influence. The nationalization and privatization of industries, as well as the influence of indigenous groups, are the primary political issues affecting to the South America. So the future issue, urbanization, will define the human geography of South America in years to come. Latin America is the most urbanized of the world's developing regions. It is the only developing region with more poor people in cities than in rural areas. Individuals and families are facing increasing job insecurity, lower wage, and reduction in social services such as electricity and water. So the democratic transition. The 1980s have us ushered in a drastic change in the political climate of Latin America, where conspicuous tide of democratization affected a shift of political power from military to civilian rule. Nearly all the countries have been democratized and constitutional transfer of political power has become commonplace. Presidential and general elections have been held in many countries in Latin America, and the election system based on the multi-party system has taken roots in these countries at present. Nearly all of the 33 Latin American and Caribbean countries have established democratic governments. The presidential system is 4 to 6 years term, and the legislative system is a bicameral Congress. So now we are going on the cultural of South America. The cultural of South America today stems from a diverse set of cultural traditions dating back to those of pre-Columbian civilization and indigenous tribes, which have been mixed with those of African slaves as well as Asian and European immigrants. So this vibrant and unique cultural mix is reflected not only in popular culture but also the food, architecture, religion, and music across the continent, making the fascinating part of the world visit. In conclusion, North and South America are diverse continents with unique physical landscapes and rich cultures. North America is known for its natural resources, strong economies, and democratic system, while South America thrives with abundant minerals, agriculture, and a mix of indigenous, European, African, and Asian influences. Both continents share a deep history that shapes their political, economic, and cultural identities today.